Everybody, thanks for joining. We see that people are still jumping on the call, so we're going to give it another minute or two, and then we'll start the meeting with a verbal roll call. So give us just a few minutes. Marla, we see that you put a note in the chat that you didn't hear anything. Can you hear us now? Thank you, Bill.
Effective. Can everyone hear me? I'll take thumbs ups.
Yes.
Elizabeth, did you have a question? I saw your hand raised.
No, sorry about that.
No worries. It's right next to the other one, so it does it to me all the time. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. We do have quorum. We got.
No, we need to do a verbal
Okay,
roll
we have
call.
to do a verbal roll call, so we'll go ahead and go through that.
Okay, we're going to do a roll call by region. So if you could take yourselves off of mute when you hear your name. I'll do Alameda, Andrea Ford. Contra Costa, Marla Stewart.
Here.
Thank you. Marin, Terry Bierman.
Here.
Thank you. Monterey, Roderick Franks.
Here.
Thank you. Napa, Jennifer Yasumoto.
Here.
Thank you. San Benito, Tracy Bilton. San Francisco, Trent Rohr.
Here.
Thank you. San Mateo, Claire Cunningham.
Here.
Thank you. Santa Clara, Ilona Betcolia.
Here.
Thank you. Santa Cruz, Randy Morris.
Here.
Thanks. Solano, Alicia Jones. Sonoma, Angela Struckman.
Here.
Thank you. Anyone else from Region 1 that joined late? Okay, Region 2, Alpine, Angela Slice.
Here.
Thank you. Amador, Ann Watts. Calaveras, Margot.
Here. It's Illanumi. Here.
Thank you. El Dorado, Timolyn James. Mono, Kathy Peterson.
I couldn't hear if you called me, but Mono County, Kathy Peterson here.
Yes, thank you. Nevada, Rachel Pena. Greg Geisler Lasser is here in the room. Sacramento, Ethan Dye.
Here.
Sierra, Lori McGee. Sutter, David Nagra.
Here.
Thank you. Tuolumne, Annie Hockett.
Here.
Thank you. Yolo, Tico Zendejas.
Here.
Yuba, Jennifer Vasquez.
Here.
Thank you. You, Tiffany Rowe,
Here.
thank you. Oh, sorry, going back to Region 2, did anybody else join late that did not check in? Okay. Region 3, Calusa, Elizabeth Kelly,
Here.
thank you. Bill Nort, Renell Brown,
Here.
thank you. Lynn, Bill Waffen,
Here.
Humboldt, Connie Beck, Wait, Rachel Dillman Parsons. I think she was supposed to be in person. Lassen, Jason Mayal,
I'm here.
Mendocino, Dee Dee Parker,
Here.
Lodok, Tom Sandage,
Here.
Plumas, Jennifer Bromby, Shasta, Jonathan Taylor,
Here.
Siskiyou, Trish Barbieri,
Here.
Tehama, Becky Emery. She sent a note saying she was going to join late, so check with her later. Trinity, Liz Hamilton.
Here. Good morning.
Okay, Region 3, anybody join late that hasn't checked in? Okay, Region 4, Fresno, Sonia Begay. Inyo, Ann Scott.
Here.
Anna Scott, sorry. Kern, Lito Murillo.
Here.
Kings, Wendy Osakapo. Madera, Deborah Martinez.
Here.
Mariposa, Dr. Christina Kahili. Here. Thank you. Merced, John Chacoli.
Here.
He's in the room. If you guys didn't hear, thank you. San Joaquin, Chris Woods.
Here.
San Luis Obispo, Devin Drake. Stanislaus, Christine Huber. Tulare, Francina Martinez.
Here.
Thank you. Anyone else from Region 4 who's joined late and needs to check in? Okay, Region 5, Imperial, Paula Llamas.
Here.
Orange, Veronica Rodriguez.
Here.
Riverside, Charity Douglas. San Bernardino.
Oh, here. Present.
Thank you, James is in the room.
I'm sorry, would you say my name like 5 times and I just was so focused? Morning, happy Thursday all.
Hi all, this is Sonia from Region 4 from Fresno. I want to check in. I logged in late and then struggled with mute.
Hi, Sonia, thank you for checking in.
Okay.
San Diego, Alberto is here in the room. Santa Barbara, Daniel Nielsen. Ventura, Roger Robinson.
Here.
Thank you. Anyone else from Region 5 need to check in? Region 6, Los Angeles, obviously. Michael is here in the room.
Here.
Kristen Stranger, we know you're on the line, but we'll count towards tomorrow. Los Angeles, Rogelio Tapia.
Here.
Thank you. Anybody else join late that needs to check in? Please say your county and your name. We'll only have to do that one more time during the vote, so.
Good job, Jen.
Thank you for your patience.
Excellent job, Jen. Okay, just a quick run through the agenda. We've got this is a member representative meeting. We have 2 of those each year. We do have 1 vote item that's on the administrative budget and unfunded costs that actually get disseminated out to each of the counties. Hopefully you guys were able to get a preview of that. We tried to send it out earlier this week so that you guys could look it over with your teams. Then we're going to have 1 action vote item on board of directors on the contract to Accenture, and then we're going to have 4 consent items for the board of directors to vote on as well. We have 7 informational items. We'll keep it lean and mean so we can get through this and make sure everybody can make their flights and enjoy the rest of their day. And we have 1 closed session item, and then we should be, I'll highlight the next meeting, and then we can move forward. So that's our agenda for today, and we'll go back now to public comment on any items not listed on the agenda that I just reviewed. This would be the time for those. Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and move into our first, which is JPA member representative action item, and that's our administrative budget overview. And I believe we'll turn it over to Holly for that.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. So each year we do present the administrative budget for member representative approval. That's in accordance with our JPA agreement. And the budget today is for state fiscal year 26-27. So these are the costs that are not allowable in our project budget, and they are listed on this slide. First, we have the insurance. These are for crime insurance, liability insurance per the JPA agreement that requires that. This year, we did estimate 15% over our current year costs to allow for some potential price changes. We also include our external financial audit services. Those costs are based on the contract. We include our SOC 1, that's the System and Organizational Controls Audit. Those are also based on the contract with, and that's with Davis Farr. And then we also include our San Bernardino Auditor Controller hours and estimates. Those are based on their standard hourly rate and estimated hours for 1.5 FTEs. We did also include our conference fees. So in June, we have our upcoming annual conference. So these costs will cover the same for next year. And we included the same amount for next year as this year. And the total is $799,803. That's just under 2% increase over last year. Our next slide shows the distribution of costs by county. And your share is based on persons count, and we have the state fiscal year 23-24 persons count, but your actuals will be based on the 24-25 persons count. And so we will issue those costs via CIT following the board meeting and any updates to the persons count. With that, I'll turn it back to Michael.
All right, thank you, Holly. Any questions or comments from our board member state partners on this item? I went out and circulated to you early, and we'll try to do that on the regular going forward, so you have more time to look at it. There was a slight increase, and we probably highlighted that partially for insurance purposes. Any questions, comments from our board member state partners?
Hey, Michael, it's Chris Woods.
Thanks, Chris.
Hey, I was just going to ask real quick, is are the conference fees net of any revenue that would otherwise be coming in for the conference, for example, from a sponsor or county paid fees at the time of the conference?
Yeah, we don't have sponsors for the CalSAWS conference, Chris. And then the counties, it's free. So there's no anticipated revenue there. Should we talk about?
Should we?
I couldn't remember how that works. So
Yeah, but should we add cost or a fee for the public or vendors, then it would be offset from.
It would be the cost would be in addition to what we account for in admin budget.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thanks. That answers my question. I just wanted to know if this cost was going to be potentially lower at some point, but that answers my question.
I have an additional question on the conference. So usually the in-person, so given all the current budget uncertainty, are we looking at the option to not do the in-person?
No, we did the board already approved the conference venue last year, Francina. So that is not something we're exploring, but I know there has been questions about virtual, some of the sessions being available virtual or on demand afterwards, and we certainly can explore that.
Is there a cancellation clause in the loss of funding in the contract for the venue?
We do include that clause as standard in all of our agreements. However, this budget will be for next year. We have not signed any agreements for next year. So should the board determine that we want to do something different for next year, that would be up for future consideration.
Yeah, because this is
Okay, if we can just target it to say, we can have a more in-depth conversation about whether or not we should just pursue it virtual versus in person, it would be helpful. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
Albert has a question.
I'll get, that's a great question Francina brought up, just in terms of our ever-changing budget climates of the counties, that we maintain some level of flexibility. We might have to revisit this. So I'll turn to Albert.
It's Albert in San Diego, and just for this year's conference, it's just for awareness, just because we will be competing with the World Cup. They are the weekend before, there will be a game at Levi Stadium. So I don't know, also for consideration on hotel costs, because there is the World Cup happening. Go Team USA.
So the contract at the hotel does include discounted rates for our group. So register early, make sure you get your discounted rate at the conference hotel. That ensures that CalSAWS doesn't have to pay out because we have to guarantee those number of rooms. We keep it lower so that, we don't put it in jeopardy. We've never had a problem meeting that. We always sell out, but definitely keep that in mind.
Just to the sensitivity around it, particularly Francina's question about reasonableness of the trip and grand costs and everything, what county situations are. Maybe we can reach out to counties to solicit their thoughts and input on that, because I know in LA County we just got a major freeze on everything. So that's going to impact travel. It's going to affect. Okay. I do see Tom.
Yeah, thank you. I just was curious, this might be a simple question, but what is the 24-25 persons count based off of?
That is it's the duplicate program persons served, and that information is provided to us by the state on an annual basis for prior year. So it's based on the persons served for each program supported.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from our board member state partners?
Good morning, Michael. This is Marla. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just was wondering if, given that the motion is to approve this budget, but it will actually change when the new person count is added, I just wonder if we need the motion to say approve the budget and then authorize the director to change the distribution when the new counts come in.
Marla, the JPA agreement and MOU do spell out the share of costs. So I think that's already accounted for. But certainly if, the board and members prefer to have that clarity, that's up to you.
Yeah, I understand that the share is based on our share of persons, but the percent here, what I heard you say is 23-24, and that it will actually be the 24-25% that are used to distribute the cost to counties. Is that accurate?
Correct.
I'm fine with sort of authorizing CalSAWS to make that change, but I'm just noting that the motion itself says to approve this as is. So when we make the motion, I'd be happy to make a motion like that.
And so that we can have the authorization to make the adjustments.
Right, exactly. Right, exactly.
I'll second that.
Okay.
We have to take a.
Change and then vote again.
No, both. So voting on accepting this, also with the delegated ability to make the adjustments when the new numbers come in. That's what they're voting on. That's what Marla's proposed, that's what I seconded, so.
Okay, so we'll go through verbal roll call now.
Yeah, just run it through the same reading, the same way, most efficient way, okay.
Okay, Region 1, Alameda, Andrea Ford. Marla gave the first. Marin, Carrie.
Yes.
Monterey, Roderick.
Aye.
Napa, Jennifer.
Yes.
San Benito, Tracy.
Yes.
San Francisco, Trent. San Francisco. San Mateo, Claire.
Yes.
Santa Clara, Ilona.
Yes.
Santa Cruz, Randy.
Yes.
Solano, Alicia. Sonoma, Angela.
Yes.
Region.
Prince, yes, from San Francisco. Sorry, mute issues.
Okay, thank you, Trent. Region 2, Alpine.
Aye.
Angela. Thank you. Amador, Ann. Calaveras, Margot.
Yes.
El Dorado, Timolin. Mono, Kathy.
Yes.
Nevada, Rachel. Vassar, Greg.
Yes.
Sacramento, Ethan.
Yes.
Sierra, Lori. Sutter, David.
Yes.
Tuolumne, Annie.
Yes.
Yolo, Tico.
Yes.
Eva, Jennifer.
Yes.
Thank you. Region 3, Butte, Tiffany.
Yes.
Calusa, Elizabeth.
Yes.
Thank you. Bill Nord, Ronell.
Yes.
Lynn, Bill.
Yes.
Humboldt, Connie.
Yes.
Lake, Rachel. Lassen, Jason.
Yes.
Thank you. Mendocino, Dee Dee.
Yes.
Modoc, Tom.
Yes.
Loomis, Jennifer. Shasta, Jonathan.
Yes.
Siskiyou, Trish.
Yes.
Tehama, Becky. Trinity, Liz.
Yes.
Fresno, Sonia.
Yes.
Inyo, Anna.
Yes.
Kern, Lito.
Yes.
Kings, Wendy. Madera, Deborah.
Bless you. And yes.
Thank you, Deborah. Mariposa, Christina. Yeah. Sorry, was that Christina? Yes. Thank you. Merced, John.
Yes.
Thank you. San Joaquin, Chris.
Yes.
San Luis Obispo, Devin. Stanislaus, Christine. Tulare, Francina.
Yes.
Thank you. Region 5, Imperial.
Yes.
Thank you. Orange, Veronica.
Yes.
Riverside, Charity. San Bernardino, James.
Yes.
San Diego, Albert.
Yes.
Santa Barbara, Daniel. Ventura, Roger.
Yes.
Region 6, Michael. You
Yes,
second.
I second.
Kristen, not eligible to vote. Los Angeles, Rogelio.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passes.
Motion passes.
All right, that brings us on to our single action item for the JPA board, and that's the contract. And then we'll go into consent items after that. So who reviews this? Holly?
All right.
Excellent, thank you.
All right, so today we're asking approval from the board for the new Accenture Benefits Cal agreement. And if you can jump to the next slide, there's a little bit more information here. We've outlined the scope in the agreement, which includes the transition activities. So that's the activities related to knowledge transfer, job shadowing, reverse job shadowing, and you'll hear more about the transition approach and plan in future meetings as part of those ongoing updates. It includes overall project management services, the hours for system change requests. These are the same hours that we have today for enhancements. We include the service desk, the level 3, which is for the application. We include marketing and public communications. So that's a range of activities, leading the marketing and communication program, using electronic and web-based communication, public relations, and conducting user research. We have our security, of course. We have innovation services, which is evaluating emerging technologies, maintaining the life of the application as it relates to Benefits Cal. And then we have ongoing production operations, and there are software elements as well. So the contract term includes a 6-month transition period plus 5 years and 5 months for a total base term of 5 years and 11 months. The base term includes $57.3 million for the transition, the base deliverables, the software, and the maintenance and operations. The base term also includes $20 million for a change allowance that allows for future changes. It may relate to premise items that come up, policy changes, and so forth. The combined total is $77.3 million. The contract does also include up to 4 additional years in 1-year increments for future consideration. The optional years would be brought back to the board for approval in the future. So today we're asking for approval of the base term. But the total contract term, if all extensions were to be exercised, would be 9 years and 11 months for a total value of $119.8 million. We have accounted for the costs within our project budget, and current year costs are accounted for in the JPA project budget as well. So with that, I'll turn it back to Michael for questions.
This will be the third of the 3 major vendor transitions that we've been working on.
Correct.
Any comments, questions from our board members, state partners on this?
Can I just ask, is there a prior in the change allowance? This is Sonia from Region 4. Is there description in the contract process of how these changes are prioritized and what the role is, or is that process described elsewhere and the contract only speaks to the dollar amount?
The contract speaks to the approval, of course, has to go through a JPA approval. And so we follow the standard change orders that we bring regularly back to the board. So that's the process.
So Sonia, the governance of the priorities is the process for CalSOS and our governance. We decide the priorities. The vendor basically executes on those, and that's what's in the contract. So they don't spell out governance in their contract.
Thank you.
I don't have a question, I just have a comment I'd like to make. That's, we've had really good intervendor support and our transition thus far, and I just want to put that back out to our vendors out there that I expect that to continue in this transition. It's been really something to be applauded in terms of everybody stepping up and making sure the resources are there and smooth transitions. I'd like to see that happen during this transition as well. So I'm just encouraging all the vendors to continue what they've already shown and done. Great deal of integrity on the vendor's part, and also it gives us a level of assurance for the system that means this much to the counties in California. Any other comments from our board members, state partners, or questions?
Mike, this is Trent. Could you just speak into the mic a little more? You have important things to say. It's kind of hard to hear.
Okay. Thanks for that. I think they were adjusting mics, and I have to adjust my voice. Okay, we'll do. Thanks, Trent. Is that better to speak like that?
Very much better. Thanks.
Okay. All right. I think it's the frog in my voice that did me in. So for those who didn't hear, I want to do a short synopsis of that. That's I expect our vendor transitions to have the same level of cooperation we've seen so far through this one as well. It has carried us well through the project. It's created stability for the counties, and this is what we expect in every transition we have. So this is no different. So I just wanted to put that out there as an expectation, and it's a high bar, and expect all of our vendors to achieve it. Any other comments or questions from our board members or state partners on this very important item? Not hearing any, I'm going to go ahead and open to public comment on this item before we vote.
Okay. Michael, this is Tamara Fields. Is this a good time for me to?
Not yet.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so not hearing any public comment, we're going to go ahead and take the vote on this then. And this is the board member vote.
Yeah, thank you, board. Region 1, Marla?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
We
no
need a
motion.
motion.
I'll do
I'll do the motion to approve.
Well, I'll motion to approve then.
I second then.
Sorry.
I'll defer, I'll second.
I got ahead of myself. Okay, Roderick?
Yes.
Thank you. Greg?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Francina?
Yes.
Veronica?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Roger? Roger Robinson?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Thank you. Michael gets second. Rogelio?
Yes.
And Kristen, I know you're on. Do you want to vote even though it won't count towards?
Yeah, I'll abstain. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay,
All right, so
motion passes.
motion passes. I was remiss, and I'm going to circle back for any public comment on our administrative budget discussion. Okay, hearing none, we're going to go ahead and move on to our consent items. I believe there's 4.
I think
Oh.
Central would
Oh,
like to.
now,
Yes.
yes, I'm sorry.
All right.
Generally, we do provide, when we have new transitioning, a courtesy time here for the vendor to go ahead and speak to us about their commitment to our success. So,
I appreciate it, Michael. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to the board. I really want to echo. So for all of you, I'm Tamara Fields. I run our Accenture U.S. Public Service business. I've been working in public service for 2.5 decades plus, so a long time. And I really want I appreciate, Michael. I just want to reiterate on that point that you talked about transition. It's really important that we always operate with commitment and integrity and dedication and collaboration. And so I did just want to immediately respond that just like we supported the transition that recently happened on CalSAWS, we are always committed to working collaboratively. Accenture have been an M&O partner for over 25 years. We've done that with CIB, LRS, and with CalSAWS, and we've delivered success to the 58 counties and the consortium and the state, but more importantly to the California families. And I think what's really important is that we never forget the families and the children, and that we're here to serve in this program, their food, their housing, their health care. That matters a lot to us. That matters a lot to me. I want to thank you for trusting us with selecting us to be in your partner and to continue that journey with Cal Benefits maintenance and operations. We recognize that this is a public-facing portal and how important that is. We're committed to working with all the stakeholder groups, and we recognize there's a lot of stakeholder groups that's important to do that. We're going to take a collaboration-first approach. And again, as working as one with the CalSAWS team, we recognize the importance of that and being strategic and really leaning in to the users and the county's experience as a priority. I'm excited about the innovation and being self-service, building trust with each of you, again, with the counties, with the state partners, and with all the advocates. We recognize the importance of that. I thank you for your partnership today and the way you've shown up. We understand it's a privilege to work with you, and we always say it's a privilege to work with those who serve. And so I wanted to say that we're passionate about this work, and I'm excited to see if Lisa has a few comments, and then we know you're busy and we're going to let you continue. But she has been passionate, and she is focused on bringing innovation, improving the self-service and for the users and the county workers, and bringing better results for Californians. And so, Lisa, I'm going to hand it over to you, but I want you to know that you have the full power of our business and our organization and public service. I'm here to serve you and to enable this team to be successful, and wanted to share that commitment with you.
Thanks, Tamara. Good morning, everyone. Lisa Solis. Hopefully I'm loud enough. There have been many titles over the last 20-something years that I've worked with the counties here in California. For the next 2 days, I'm your M&E project manager, and effective next week, the Benefits Cal project manager. I'm here because I am passionate and I love serving you all, as I've done the last couple of decades. We're excited. My team is very excited to start work, chomping at the bit. There's some faces that you're very familiar with. They have deep experience with the county business processes, with not only portals, but also with the CalSAWS system. So really covering the end-to-end process, which I know is critical, making sure that these two systems work well together and work not only for our beneficiaries and the ease of access and applying for benefits and recertifying and renewals, but also that it's easy for the workers to process that information. So that's definitely focus. And we also have some new faces to round out our team, so looking forward to that. We know that this, as Michael said, transitions are very important. This will be my third one. It's important that it's a stable in-place transition, so the system remains available, secure, and stable during this transition period. I know it's challenging times. HR1 and all the changes that are coming to Medi-Cal members across our food stamps programs. There's a lot going on. We do not want to add to your plate. We do not want the directors to be getting sleepless nights about transition. You have enough of that already. Our commitment is to be transparent, Michael, as you said, and to be collaborative with each other. I think, Rajesh and I have definitely, taken that to heart through this M&E transition for the last year. We will carry that forward and make sure that it occurs and it's not something you have to worry about. So that is, my commitment to you all, and I know a lot of faces around the room and on the call. So excited, looking forward to starting this journey, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, Tamara and Lisa. And it's great to still have that amazing accent in the room when we're sharing our updates. It's wonderful. And we're very international in terms of our teams. So we're really excited to see what Accenture brings to the table. with our online platform. And I want to thank Deloitte as well as our vendor that's in the transitioning phase for standing up the application, getting it built out, responding to all the challenges we've been putting in front of them, and for them to be committed to this successful transition. I really appreciate our vendor partners in this. So thank you so much, and we're going to go ahead and then now step and move on and hopefully be able to stay on schedule here. We have our consent items coming up. All right. Yes. Okay.
All right. This is Holly Murphy again. I'll take this one. So first on the consent item is the minutes from the December JPA meeting. The action items are covered within the agenda later. We did attach a supplemental report to the board meeting package, which is the performance reports. And then we also have some items scheduled for the next board meeting. So that's the first item. The next two items are related to transition to complement the new agreement. We also have transition out services. So work order 20 with Deloitte Benefits Cal, that will utilize $502,000 for the initial transition out activities. That will leave a balance of $16.8 million in the change allowance for future work. Now this one will be a phase one. We will have future updates to be brought back to the board for transition out activities as those transition details evolve. And that's the same approach we used for our last two transitions. The next item is the ClearBest work order. We do count on our QA services as part of our transition as well. That work order 8 will utilize $293.7 thousand to provide those quality assurance services associated with transition. That will leave a balance of $516.8 thousand in their change allowance. Finally, we have the Gainwell Central Print Amendment. We are requesting approval of 3 of the 5 optional year extensions for Central Print. This approval of this amendment will utilize $190.9 million of the optional year allowance. That will leave $130.8 million for the remaining 2 years in the agreement for future board consideration. So this amendment will extend the agreement through February 2029. And all of the costs associated with these items today on the consent calendar are part of approved funding. And then for the central print agreement, we did account for updated volume counts. There are certain policy changes that have ongoing print impacts, including the alternate formats that were identified by DHCS and the return mail operations and our project facilities. So with that, all of the items are accounted for in the project budgets. And back to you, Michael.
So that's a transition out for for B and C, and then D is actually an extension of the current or optional years on the current contract. Extended. And A. Oh, okay. That's enough. Okay. So do we have any other questions or comments from our board members, our state partners on this slate of consent items? Okay, hearing none. Any public comment? Okay, hearing none. Do we have a motion to approve the slate?
I'll move.
Right.
I'll second.
Is that
That's Roderick.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, Marla,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Francina,
Yes.
Veronica,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Roger,
Yes. Oh,
Michael,
Yes.
Kristen,
Abstention.
Rogelio?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, motion passes. That brings us on to the informational items. There are 7. And it starts with strategic priorities update. And that's Julie.
So it seems like much longer, but only a year ago, we came before the member representative group and presented about 6 or 7 other potential objective areas. If you remember that fun voting or recommendation exercise, you all gave us your priorities in terms of what you thought CalSAWS should focus on last year. And 4 rose to the top. And so the 4 that rose to the top were enhancing self-service access. I won't read each one of these. But the second one being streamlining administrative processes. The third, enhance user experience and support. And the 4th one, which is the mouthful of enhancing reporting, analytics, and client communication capabilities. So that happened in January of last year. And we can move to the next slide. So for the last year, we've been, despite HR1 and all the unexpected twists and turns of last year and the transitions, we still made incredible progress on each of those objective areas. So I'm just sharing that out, giving some highlights from the last year, and celebrating some great stories to tell. So objective 1, as we look at enhancing self-service access, we went on a very lofty but meaningful journey with our advocates, our state partners, and the counties to improve our collaboration model. When I started this role, we had gotten a lot of feedback on that model and how we go about prioritizing it. So the goal really being to provide more rigor around it. For the last year, we've been refining that model, and just this past week, we had our inaugural collaboration model advisory group meeting, and we really proud of the team. Thank you to our state partners, our county representatives, CWDA, and our advocates, who all got in a room, literally this room right here, and hammered out and made some recommendations in terms of the top priorities. And so what you see here are the 8 initiative requests that were submitted. And actually, when we get to her part, is going to talk about the outcomes of that meeting. But we actually did come up with those prioritized, and so we're going to be presenting more on that later. But I just wanted to give a huge shout out and kudos to everyone that participated in that. This is really tying back to that first objective and enhancing self-service access and making sure we're doing the first things first and moving towards improving that access for the public. Move on. This is just a timeline to show how we got here. This actually is not really representing all of it because it actually started quite a bit before that, but right around August and September, we started the journey in terms of actually meeting and getting some meat around the bones of those initiative requests, leading up to, as I mentioned last week, where the team went and discussed each of those initiative areas and got to partner and talk about what's important and why, and prioritize those things. So the little pink, as a pink because Ashley likes pink, button there is where we are today, and we'll be providing an update in February on those areas. On objective 2, so this objective 2 was on streamlining administrative processes for for our workers, and so getting rid of some of that repetitive, redundant work, and then also just making it CalSAWS show up better for the end user. And so here are a few areas, just scratching the surface on some of the things that we have embarked upon last year. With all the CalFresh error rate enhancements. Roger's going to be talking about that later as we get into the work group activity. We have the automation of the PBS, integration into work number, and the caseload management. I think it's phase 1, if I'm not mistaken. So those are some of the high-level efforts underway. On objective 3, so this one is all about here, what we're talking about is on the benefits cal side, but this obviously bridges both sides. So on the benefits cal side specifically, you know, our team follows a user-centered design process and principles. And so most of these enhancements on the benefits cal side are really about including tools and tips and help text and clear language to make it easy for customers to understand where to take an action or find support. There's actually about 67 enhancements related to this objective, but these are just the high level ones in terms of some of the things that we have implemented. So as we transition from Deloitte to Accenture, I think I just want to shout out, obviously there was a lot of effort and a lot of things that were accomplished, this past year. I really appreciate the partnership and the spirit of excellence from our Stay level. Oh yeah, she was telling me, okay, my voice. I'm drifting. All right, so the last one is objective 4. So objective 4 is the one about reporting and analytics and client communication. This one is a big one for us, right? We want to make sure we provide more insights to the counties. And so you see the timeline here. So as we heard and we got that prioritized from the counties, we started that process pretty early last year. We've met with all the counties, we've had conversations, and we've done the scoping of it. We even in June at the conference, the CalSOS conference, presented a little POC that we did in terms of some of the art of the possible around that. And so now we've just continued to have these conversations. If you've been in the board meetings, you've heard us progressing on that. But really, we want to have a really impactful architecture so that our data is available for the counties to act on. And also, as we saw this last year, we have a lot. This last year with HR1, there is a need for predictive analytics capabilities because we need to run those scenarios in terms of if this changes, if this, then what? And we're somewhat limited in that. And so this is really what that project is seeking to address. And so this is just kind of a timeline to show you the journey over the last year. I won't drain this, but this is more informational in terms of, what we're hoping to accomplish through our reporting capabilities. We want the counties to be able to access data in a more streamlined way. Right now, there's some gaps in terms of the CalSOS core reporting capabilities. And so as a result of that, we've had to go on kind of this several different paths to get the answers that the counties need. So we have the clicks, the PBDS, we also have EDR and APEX. So we don't really have that true analytics layer for CalSOS. So what we really need is more flexibility within the core. There's a lot of clicking and movement. Sorry, Ethan. All right, so we want real data-driven, we want access so that the counties are enabled to make better data-driven decisions. And so really, hopefully the goal being the new lake house architecture will solve that problem. Okay, so this is just to show the roadmap. So, at some point, we'll be presenting the contract to start this project to the board. This is the timeline with month 1 starting from whenever that happens. And in terms of true value realization, we're planning to move with some velocity. We're looking at about month 13, where counties will all have core operational reports available in this new architecture, this new lake house. And so the goal being, we want to make sure we're not just providing these like predictive analytics, but we want to make sure that we provide you with the baseline needs of the counties first, because I know that's a priority for a lot of the counties. So we're not having to go out to separate systems, other processes to do that. So we can just kind of there. really unlocking the value here. We just wanted to share this, kind of talk about the why and the value that's provided. This new analytics platform is really to elevate the county's ability to self-serve. So right now, when the counties have to add a column, for example, to a report, they have to come to us and have that added. And so now we're talking about weeks, sometimes months to do that. This will allow them to do that at their fingertips. So we're talking about hours instead of weeks and months, or at the worst case scenario, days for them to do that. So counties really gain access to the tools and some autonomy to use through this new platform. And so that's it. Just wanted to share on those 4 objectives and answer any questions.
I know those are the same that we had, and I think you're just adding color to them in terms of how things are tying into them. Nothing like a new one added or anything.
No.
Any questions or comments from our board members, state partners on this presentation?
I just have a few just comments. So objective number 2, sorry, I have a swollen mouth from a dental procedure. So if I slur, I apologize. For objective number 2, I just want to make sure that when we have moments where we can maximize funding, I know AVOD timeline is later on in this presentation, but right now we have an opportunity to maximize some funding to do system enhancements for user friendliness for AVOD, and that's just one example. But when we have those, we need to just make sure that we're building in that into the timeline. It might interrupt other things, but it's important to maximize that. So that's just my comment on objective 2. And then objective 4, thank you guys for bringing more information and then having some other conversations that took place. But I just want to say, as a board member, I still would expect that if we have statewide impacts, the hope would be that the project is still, and the expectation would be that the project is still pulling, countywide reports for the entire state, so that we're not having to come forth just because we can to try to figure it out ourselves, or come forth with a request for reports to be pulled. It should be kind of an intuitive thing. So those are just my 2 comments.
Thank you, Christina. Other comments or questions from our board members, state partners?
Michael.
Yes, James.
Thank you, Michael. And Francina, thank you for starting the conversation on objective 2. And my comment on objective 2 is that it is super important, super critical that we continue to see forward progress when it comes to this objective. It really focused in on our payment error rate, and I'm incredibly happy to see the positive movement we're seeing with the EVES and the PVS for Region 5 and for San Bernardino. That is really a big game changer. That is a particular trend that we have seen historically in our county. So for the project to be able to automate that is really it's significant, and really appreciate that. Other couple of quick comments about this, and really excited to see additional dialogue and conversation about how we're going to be preparing staff to be able to call out particular items that the system sees. And I'll just give you a recent example in San Bernardino is that we had a QC error related to, we applied a welfare to work sanction for both CalWorks and CalFresh. The system should be dynamic enough and to know that I should not be applying a welfare to work sanction against CalFresh right now. There's regulatory changes that happened back in 2025 that it should stop me. It should be a hard stop. So having those kind of conversations and seeing what the system can do to help support the staff in that kind of space is really exciting. And then the work number, and I'll just share another example, but what we experienced in San Bernardino is that using the work number is super powerful. So embedding that into the CalSouth system is another game changer. My ask is that we keep a pulse on this and understand when it comes to the work number and embedding that, like, when is that going to happen? Like making sure that we have this timeline of what the county should expect from all the different initiatives when it comes to objective 2. It is so incredibly important that we are producing accurate benefits to help support our community. So again, just wanted to provide some commentary in the importance of that particular. All the objectives are super critical, but I just wanted to provide some commentary on objective 2. Thank you so much.
This is Albert in San Diego.
And I too want to echo Francina's statement regarding taking advantage of available funding. So there are things that we need to do, obviously, with whatever we can do to help us fix or improve in our CalFresh error rate. That's a big one because it has large implications. But I also feel that when we have access or opportunities to additional funding, we also have to be able to show our staff that we're trying to help them out. So this allows us to, you know, how do we shift those resources? We keep the resources that we have in-house with the project to do the things that we need to do. But if CDSS is trying to give us one-time funding for us to help with ABOT, that needs to be a win to our staff so that they see the benefit. And I think that with those type of projects, the staff need to be able to feel some relief to their day-to-day activities. And I think that the big one, for at least first, and I'm only speaking San Diego's behalf, is our staff need to be able to be on the phone when they have or if a customer walks up, have one place to look to see if their customers are meeting these requirements. And we need to focus on the exemptions first. We need to be able to tell our staff if the household is exempt from meeting the work requirements, instead of focusing on the math to see if they're meeting the work hours. That is the last resort. So I think that we do need to take opportunity to maximize funding, especially when we have one-time funds that might be or could be made available to the project, where we can hold project resources to focus on what we need to do, but also find that win for our staff. Thank you.
And Michael, if I may, I'm so sorry. I'm going to toggle to the objective number 1 in the item under DHCS and the application of the renewal flow. Another super critical area that we really need to focus on. We all know what's happening January 1st, 2027, and just adding that as the secondary requirement for that semi-annual renewal is impactful. So how do we streamline and make things efficient for our communities to ensure that we're not experiencing any kind of churn related to a procedural reason, right? We should make sure that the application and the renewal process is easy for our community members to navigate and go through that process. So whatever we can do to help support our communities, ensuring that they're meeting that new requirement, the better position our community members are going to be to make sure that they can comply with it. My other ask on this, and we used to get these kind of updates at JPA, and it's been a couple months, but what are we doing to increase self-service engagement and getting our community members more awareness about Benefits Cow? And Lisa, that's might be something that we want to start, a deeper conversation on is how are we getting that message out? That Benefits Cow can support customers in so many different areas, especially with the new requirements coming January 2027. So just wanted to pitch that in another critical area. Really excited for deeper conversations in the next couple months.
Thank you very much, James. I also just want to comment on one of the highlighted areas, and that was the PBS automation and abstract automation. It's something that we've been working on together for quite a while, and probably too long before we can actually get this in. And I do want to put a shout out to our state partners for getting to the table and really digging into this. And the times we're in right now gives us opportunity for us to relook at how policy matches up with implementation on the ground, and seeing how many things that our workers are having to manually do that they really shouldn't have to do if we can look at things through a different lens. I think that's a good example of where it actually happened, and I just want to see if we can accelerate things like that, where it's an obvious thing that we can address. We just have to figure out how to get past some of the hurdles of verified on receipt, and then versus if it's just going to be advisory and it's still an additive benefit than people routine things. I just need to get them to not be routine things. That's going to help a lot with some of our error rate challenges. So thank you all for your input. Is there any other comment or questions on this before I move to public? Okay, then I'll open it up for public comment.
Hi, this is Jen from the Advocates Group.
Hi, Jen.
I just wanted to comment on the prior comments about increasing self-service and awareness in Benefits Cal and trying to make things more efficient for people. I do want to acknowledge our appreciation for the ways that the Benefits Cal team has been creating spaces for advocates and state partners to come together with counties and other stakeholders to provide feedback on the ways that these particular risks related to HR1 can be mitigated as much as possible. And so just really grateful for those spaces and hope that as many of our recommendations as possible can be implemented. And also just want to name that one of the biggest barriers people appear to have based on feedback on the website is being able to log into the website. And so if counties are able to support people to learn to do that, I think that can help make sure they can then maximize all of the really important changes that we're trying to make within the accounts for people.
Thank you very much for your input. Any other public comment? Okay, hearing none. Thank you very much, Joy, for the presentation on that. Very fruitful discussion. That brings us to HR1 updates. I think Sharon's leading that one. No?
Yeah, good morning. For the Medi-Cal HR1 policy roadmap, we're moving forward and we're on track to meet the deadlines, especially with the January 1st effective dates of numerous items. In the 2605, we have the return mail. In the 2606 release, we have the Q&C changes for HR1 and also the HR1 retroactive Medi-Cal reduced timeframes. And then moving on to the 2609 release, what we have is the work and community engagement requirements. And, I listened earlier to San Diego, and one of the things that we are doing, this is all in conjunction with DHCS, CWDA, and CalHERS. We are looking at how the exemptions to these requirements and also how are the requirements being met. What we are also doing is we're providing updates regularly to the Medi-Cal committee. And what we also have for the work requirements as well as the 6-month renewals is a county work group. And the county representatives are involved in the design of those two new functionalities. In addition, what we have in 2609 is the precursor to the July 2027 state requirement for monthly premiums for the UIS population. Next slide. And then continuing in 2611, what we have is another HR1 requirement, and that is updating using the USPS and COA mailing address updates to update the mailing addresses for Medi-Cal individuals. And then what we're also doing is we're automating discontinuances. And this is with Paris and also the RVP. And so that involves concurrent public assistance. And also to discontinue those who are living out of state. As we move into these TBD releases, those haven't been started yet, but we're moving forward to meet those schedules. Okay.
All right, thank you, Sharon. Our next set of slides cover our CalFresh and CalWorks may revise an HR1 policy implementation roadmap. Key highlights for this month include our 2601 release, which just occurred this past Monday. This release implemented the new energy assistance payment income type associated with the SUAS policy, as well as the batch process that evaluates cases for SUAS. Looking ahead at our 2603 baseline release, targeted for March 23rd, the ABOD time limit exemption screening form will be added to the CalFresh RE and CalWorks CalFresh RE packets. Also in March, part of a March 31st priority release, the CalFresh HR1 non-citizen eligibility policy changes that are effective April 1st will be targeted for implementation. And then looking at our May release, we do have our ABOD policy changes scheduled for that release. That policy is effective June 1st. And then looking into our future releases, we have, next slide, please. We have our 2607 release that's going to implement the threshold languages for the CF1 form, and then the integration of the work number currently slated for our September 2026 release. If no questions, we can move over to the next slide or next topic. So this next set of slides focuses on the CalFresh system enhancements aimed at improving and reducing error rates. With the 2601 release that again just occurred this past Monday, we had 5 SCRs that were implemented across this area. These system changes included updates to notices of action to consolidate and better clarify denial reasons, the addition of a new negative action reason, not a separate household, allowing workers to more accurately categorize and process CalFresh negative actions in these scenarios. The addition of a new homeless vehicle expense type, allowing, along with the eligibility changes to allow this vehicle cost to be used in shelter deductions. A usability enhancement, going back to our strategic objectives, that defaulted the system to select all programs when running EDBC. So a simple change there, but something very effective, reducing the number of clicks and improving the accuracy of eligibility results. And then lastly, a fiscal over issuance update to more accurately calculate CalFresh over issuances by using the CalFresh 8 authorized amount within the unearned income calculation. Looking ahead at our March release, we have 7 additional system enhancements targeted to improve CalFresh processing and error rate reductions. This includes the automation of the payment verification system, which we heard counties speak on. This is an eliminated need for manual data entry. We also have multi-month EDBC noticing enhancements, such as accounting for additional data points in multi-month EDBC scenarios before suppressing a notice. EDBC logic enhancements, including assigning the SARN reporting type when the meets ESAP criteria indicator set to Y, ensuring reporting consistency across our ESAP households. Another fairly simple change, but will add a lot of value, and that's renaming the exceed gross negative action reason to over income to improve accuracy during QA sampling as cases discontinued for excess net income were being incorrectly flagged due to the current action code description not referencing net income. The next 2 slides cover additional updates that are planned for future releases that are still in design and in progress, so they're still going through the design phase. These planned enhancements span several areas, including EDBC, fiscal, skip benefits, and data collection. Next slide, please. One more. All right. As far as our HR1 work group updates, our first work group, starting with our CalFresh processing work group, was focused on identifying and prioritizing system enhancements that could help reduce CalFresh error rates across counties. This group began meeting in October and completed its requirements gathering in December. 15 requirements were prioritized and grouped into thematic areas. The first theme is automatic system error reviews, which focus on real-time system validations that alert workers to potential errors. This could be validating expense updates when living arrangements change or identifying overlapping addresses. We heard James from San Bernardino speak on this a bit. This was a high focus of the work group to improve accuracy of data, reduce error reduction. And so this area is focused on those automatic system reviews that can help prevent some of these issues from occurring. The second theme is nudges and navigations, which include on-screen prompts displayed prior to saving that encourage workers to verify information in specific scenarios. For example, prompting workers to review payment amounts, utilities, taxes, or rent when address changes occurred. The third theme is interview support, providing automatic real-time prompts during interviews to help workers capture, clarify, or verify information. And lastly, we had a theme around technical requirements, such as improving supervisor authorization to be more configurable and customizable by program and scenario. On the next slide, we just have a high-level timeline here. The project is planning to start implementing these items beginning this summer and will continue through the end of next year. If we can move on to the next update, I'm going to cover these in a little bit more higher detail because I recognize we're a little bit behind schedule. So for our ad hoc reporting work group, they began in October and actually delivered the last set of ad hoc reports yesterday on January 28th. There were 44 requirements identified across the areas that you see here. And although they've delivered the last set of reports, the team is still, the ad hoc project team is still going to be available to continue to provide support for any ad hoc reporting needs as we progress through the HR1 implementation. Next slide. And then lastly here, just an update on our ABOD work group. They began meeting in December. They met four times, focusing on reviewing policy, clarifying policy, and starting to identify ABOD enhancements. We heard Albert talk about a one-time or one-stop place to see all of your ABOD exemptions, all of your ABOD information. That is something that the work group is focusing on, is a dashboard that makes it easily accessible for a worker to go see all of this information in one stop. So something that is top of mind for the work group. They're slated to continue through the end of February, and as they refine and finalize those enhancements for the system, we will bring those forward to our JPA. I'll pause there for any questions.
This is Francina again. I just have one question. I know it says on here the Medi-Cal work rules. The delivery date was expected to be 1/28/26. So my question is, for around that, do you have any more information? Was it delivered, or do we have an additional timeline on that?
Yeah, are you referring to the ad hoc reporting requirements, the ones in the prior slide? We can go back one.
It's on slide 47 for timeline of release.
Yes.
And then it says Medi-Cal adult workforce cost sharing, there's 10 requirements, right? So as far as system changes needed to manage the Medi-Cal work rules.
Yeah, so Francesca, this is specific to the ad hoc.
Thank you.
Francina, this is specific to the ad hoc reports that help the counties visualize that impacted population. And so it was based on current system functionality, bringing in those data elements, and those reports were published as of yesterday. As far as the system enhancements, Sharon, if you're still out there, can you speak to that timeline?
Yeah, for the system requirements for the work requirements, that's going into our 2609 release. And as I had mentioned, that we are working with the counties in a work group to define the design of that functionality.
Thank you.
Alberto.
Yes, Albert in San Diego, quick question, and this is more for clarification. I know that we're talking about HR1 and I'm only talking to the Medi-Cal program. Are we only talking about changes due to HR1, or are we also including changes that are coming due from the state budget?
We are doing both. And so, back in December, what we did release the UIS, the changes to the UIS population and their Medi-Cal coverage, as well as a non-magi asset limit. And so that was done to support the January 1st, 2026 effective date. In the charts that we presented in the 2609, what we're also doing to support the state policy changes is the ACO changes. That is a precursor to what's going to happen in July 2027 with the UIS premiums. So where the state is going to establish that requirement for premiums for the UIS full scope population.
Thank you. So for my clarification, so am I expecting to see all of those changes under this HR1 report out, or am I supposed to be following on a different path, anything that's related to the state budget? I know that the work is happening, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, where are we tracking it?
Yeah, is there a separate area where the continuous coverage ending on those elements are actually spelled out?
Because I believe that many counties, what they're doing, just HR1 and the state budget has become one thing because they're coming in parallel, and we're getting questions regarding our different executive teams, our board offices. So just like the ABOD page for the staff, if we were to just have the Medi-Cal changes that are coming due to HR1 and the state budget, it would be easier for us to track because all these things are coming in concurrently. No, thank you.
Yeah, we do have other, so the HR1 work groups, the reason we report out specifically on those is because the JPA asked for us to activate those work groups. We want to make sure we're tracking where those are on those, in those areas. But we do have other locations where you can see like all the policy related state requirements. And so Sharon, do you want to kind of touch upon that, or yeah, you
I'll take that, Julie. I'm sorry. This is Michelle Peterson. We can definitely take that feedback and separate them out on the slide deck. We are tracking them in separate SCRs, but we can, that's definitely like we broke it out when we did the state changes for January. We can do that again.
Yeah, that'd be really helpful because we get board meetings. I mean, we just had one scheduled for next month, the next week. And we have to differentiate for them. Understand which ones actually come out effective because the HR1 impacts to Medi-Cal actually are a little further out, but the immediate impact is what's happening with continuing coverage ends and the waivers being removed.
We have them separate.
Yeah. So as much as
we have them separate and we lift them back together.
Yeah, we can have them and lift them.
Yeah, we'll do that for next month. We can still do that for next month.
I just have one additional comment. It's just obviously we're all aware of the alternative impact to indigent care from the Medi-Cal rule changes. So I'm just wondering if there's indigent care conversations going on around CalSAW's functionality.
Should I speak to that? Are you referring to like CMSP?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so we are having some conversations with CMSP about some changes that they want to make. We just provided them a cost estimate and we're working on timeline with them. So we do anticipate some changes to CMSP by the end of the year is where we're looking at. Early next year.
We'll see those come here in the next few months, I assume, for some awareness.
Once, like CMSP board needs to approve the changes they want to move forward with, and then we'll circle back and have some more conversations with CMSP. And then we'll definitely bring to you what is going to move forward. They also shared that there are 4 additional counties that could utilize the CMSP functionality and in the county. So we're looking at communicating with some of those counties, and I can't remember the counties off the top of my head. Maybe Placer, I think, is one of them. And I think there's 3 others. I can't remember. Merced, maybe. And so looking at when those counties will be ready to, start using the CalSAW's functionality for CMSP. So definitely more to come. We'll include that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Francina, I see Randy's hands up too.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for bringing up the CMSP. There are 4 counties and Santa Cruz is one of them. Just because the topic's coming up, a question did come to me as the Santa Cruz director. The way it landed, which might have been 4th hand, was can I commit that we are indeed going to engage in CMSP so that we can indeed officially move ahead? And our county executive officer, our health agency, and our board is exploring. But because of the way the question at least translated to me, I had to say, no, we're not committing to it. We're exploring. So I just want to let you know, in terms of all these different jurisdictions talking about this, the 4 of us counties, I just wanted to let you know that's kind of how it circled back to me in case something got lost in translation.
Yeah, no, thanks, Randy. I appreciate that. Yeah, we are, whenever really for the new counties that want to start utilizing that CMSP functionality, it'll be whenever you are ready. like you would submit a request to the project, and then we would work with you on that timeline to get you, slip the county on to start using that functionality. So it is really when the county is ready.
Yeah, and I think not to take unnecessary time, but I just given the very, very precarious budget times, the implications for the county, the healthcare side of the house, the board, the myopic question to a human service agency was like, is there going to be costs for us if we commit? Anyhow, we're just so exploratory right now. I just wanted to make sure people on this call knew, maybe I'm speaking for the other 4 counties, definitely interested, have no information to be able to make an informed decision yet. So my answer back was, we're exploring, but no, I cannot commit that we are going to proceed. So just wanted to share that anecdote.
This is Deborah, Madera County. Any kind of transition, even if the application's approved and because the county is solidly interested, it's about a year transition. So it's really kind of early to talk about it, but it's a long-term situation there.
All right. Any other public comment? Any other comments or questions on that? We're running behind a little bit, so we're going to try to pick up our pace. Not to thwart any questions or good dialogue, but just a heads up. Any public comment on the site? Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to our collaboration model update.
I heard you lean and mean. I got it. All right, like Julia talked about earlier this week, actually on Monday, the advisory group for the collaboration model did meet in person. And really the purpose was for us to get some structure around the ideas that are coming from the groups and end up with a prioritized outcome and next steps. We met in person, advisory group members, they were providing the votes. We had listen-only participants that could join virtually. And then CalSAWS, really, we took a back seat just as facilitation so that the group could come together equitably and talk about the ideas and put them in order. Go ahead, please. What we ended up with was this beautiful list of priorities you can see here. And while they may have different titles, a lot of them had similar themes. There was a lot around improving how documents are uploaded by the customer as well as received for staff to kind of ease that piece for the county worker as well. And also ideas to encourage customers through the system to report completely when they report changes. So there were a lot of really amazing ideas that came in. So it should be a really exciting year for us to dive in and see how many we can accomplish. If you go forward one more slide, what we'll do now is we'll meet internally to work the initiative requests into the release schedule. And then any resulting system changes will come forward through the SDLC as usual, including the UCD process. We'll provide updates at the quarterly stakeholder meetings, and we will have a mid-year checkpoint in June just to see where we're at with each of the initiatives.
Very well done. Marla has a question or her hand up.
Hi, yeah, thank you, Michael. I was one of the 2 county representatives in this process, and I just want to thank CalSAWS for a good process. I think this has gone very well so far. We had a great opportunity, all the different parties to really think deeply about the proposals and score them on our own. And then when we came together into the meeting, it was very collaborative and very productive discussion. So just want to thank Julia, you and your team for facilitating a really good process here.
Thank you, Mark. Any other comments, questions from our board members, state partners on the collaboration model presentation? Hearing none, any public comment?
Hi, this is Jen from the Advocates Group. Just plus wanting everything Marla said, and big thanks to Ashley and Julia for this process. And thank you for creating a process that looks at these high-level opportunities to create significant change for people. And we're really excited about how things landed and look forward to supporting the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Any other public comment? Great, glad to see everybody leaning in together. We'll go ahead and move on to, we're gonna do an audible here on the transition update. We'll get that in the next meeting, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to the call summarization.
Okay, Robert's gonna kick us off.
Good morning, all. I'll speak a little bit louder for those in the meeting, so I ask for the grace for those here in the room with me. My name is Robert Lusk. I'm the Chief Information Officer here at CalSAS. We started this journey with a focus on improving call center agents' efficiency and effectiveness with a Gen AI-based call summarization solution. Fresno proved its business value, and other counties expressed great interest in being able to bring it on as soon as possible. After the Fresno rollout, we conducted a technology and architecture review to ensure that we were ready for that rollout. Some of the outcomes of that brought up concerns about scalability, supportability, and cost. And we wanted to make sure that that's not a problem, because those are all very, very important things to us, so that everyone who's using this gets the best out of the solution, the most cost-effective way to implement it. In order to address these concerns, we identified a native AWS solution with improved both LLM and Gen AI capability. Now, this solution replicates most of the agent interface, providing us that scalable, supportable, and cost-effective solution that Fresno put significant time in to help us optimize. And I'm going to turn it over to Dawn to talk about the journey, but most importantly, talk about the path forward.
Thanks, Robert. Dawn Wilder. And I did want to give you just a rough concept here of the call summarization, because as Robert just mentioned, we did press the pause button for a bit and take a look at some alternate ways to make this more scalable. And so let's talk a little bit about the overall timeline, and then on some subsequent slides, I will talk about what happens in each of these colored bars, but let's take a look at the overall picture first. So since we took over Contact Center in August, we started taking a look at this, and you can see from September to now, we have been working through getting ready for a pilot of the new concepts and technology that's sort of sliding in under the hood there, along with starting our pre-implementation activities for that pilot. We will be conducting a pilot of the new technology. Again, as Robert said, look and feel very similar. But we are sliding in some new technology in purposes of more scalability and configurability. Once we are well solid with that pilot and we know that that's going to proceed forward, there are a set of pre-rollout activities that I'm going to talk a little bit more about in an upcoming slide here, and then into the actual implementation for those counties who choose to opt in. And those will be broken out into 4 waves so that we can best provide on-site support to the counties and make sure that we cover the organizational change management county readiness activities. So let's talk a little bit about what happened underneath each of those colored bars. So if you go to the next slide, we're going to start with the first 2 there, which is really about the pre-pilot preparation and the actual readiness. We did have 3 counties who had actually submitted requests for this. We know a lot of other counties also have interest. And looking at those counties who had submitted the requests, we wanted a pilot to pilot our new solution with someone who had the number of queues, the number of agents, the basic workflow that we were looking for in the way that they were handling it, because Fresno had a certain workflow. We were looking for the alternate, and that did land us with Placer. So we do appreciate Placer stepping up here to assist us with that. We have started with the actual activities with them. But in getting ready for this particular solution, we have been partnering heavily with AWS, so heavily that we were actually in on this project in their pre-beta time. So we have been on the journey with AWS from the start of the product that they're offering here. We worked in their sandbox, coordinated with them, provided feedback. So CalSAS has actually had a lot of influence on this particular product that AWS is rolling. We went into beta with them in October, which means we were able to put it into the test environments for some sample counties here. Again, the counties weren't accessing it. We were using those environments and that data to test it and collaborating with AWS throughout that. We have started pre-activities, as I said, with Placer for the pilot. And we do intend to move into that pilot in the probably March timeframe and close it out in April. There are some dependencies on AWS. We do have an update that we need of a large language model to be able to go to pilot, to actually cut it over. Still doing the pre-prep right now. And then we do need general availability in order to roll, and that's expected in June. And as you heard, Sam, we are running pretty tight. So Sam Ellis with AWS is on the phone. So can you give us the 1-minute version of the journey?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Don. Sam Ellis with AWS here. Apologies for my voice and not being there in person today. I'm recovering from a cold. Didn't want to share with everyone. But the short answer is, as Don mentioned, we've been collaborating for the better part of a year with the consortium and with Gainwell to work through the different requirements here, such as multi-language transcription, how to get actual transcription to get actual summaries, and then finally how to get the right summaries and the right models to work with that. So our service teams have been building that based on CalSAW's requirements and the collaboration we've had, and we're expected to launch the product, as Don mentioned, to be generally available in June of 2026, if not sooner. So our goal there is to support and partner a solution that meets the administrative and functional needs of the consortium, and so we're on target to hit that.
Thank you, Sam. And then, so that's the first two bars there that sort of get us through what have we been doing during the time period that we re-looked at it, and then of course our engagement to repilot the solution. And again, that's a different architecture, but not a different look and feel that Fresno currently has. So we are maintaining that. But if we move on to what's going to happen after the pilot, we do need to do a final verification with all the counties who are eligible. And again, keep in mind, to use the solution, you do need to be using the CalSAW's contact center solution. So it is important to realize that when I'm talking here, I am talking to those counties who are on the CalSAW's contact center solution. So for those counties who meet the criteria I just stated, the final verification to be sure that you want to opt in, and we'll get some sense of the when is workable. Every county has lots of things going on. You may or may not be ready for the period of time in which we might suggest that you go live. So similar to what we did in Return Mail, we will be working with each of the counties to make sure we fit into your schedule if you are interested in moving forward with this option. We will be working with each county to get the gathering of the data that we need for configurable items. There are some configuration items that you all need to decide upon, and we work with you to do that. We provide examples, and we really sit down and go through the options that you choose from. We, of course, handle the technical configuration during this period of time. We also will spend a heavy amount of time on your readiness activities, some of which are technical, some of which are more organizational business process change. But we will make sure that we go through all those materials, which we'll provide. And thanks again to Greg and your team. He's sitting right here across from me, in terms of being able to provide us feedback on those materials. So we are really working those materials to be sure that they're clear as we're going through the pilot, because the materials are as important as the technical solution. The two go together to make us successful, right? Training material review also with all the counties, and there will be train the trainer sessions as well, because you have a lot of agents that you do need to train. So that's what's going on during the pre-rollout period. Then we move into the actual implementation period. Again, as I mentioned, we're looking at 4 county groups, and even within the group, we're going to stagger the go live. And if you want to move to the next slide, there you go. And so again, during the rollout, basically you'll need to finalize any remaining readiness items, which we talked about during that pre-period. Make sure that you're all ready to go. If anything comes up, we'll work with you if we need to reschedule anyone. You will have some on-site support to be sure that it's all going and flowing correctly. And then, of course, we will have some post-implementation support in that sort of healthcare way where you can reach us faster if needed. So again, the 4 counties, you're going to ask, so I'll just say it. the 2 counties who put in the requests and tickets, we do plan to have in the first group. So we have actually already met with both of those counties to walk through the same basic presentation so that they know what's coming, and also to consider if they do want to remain in the first group. But so far, no one's rejected that being in the first group. So, and again, we'll roll out a suggested schedule based on geography. It makes it a little easier if we land in an area and we can kind of roll. But we are not stuck on that. So if counties have particular needs, we will adjust. And I think I made it in time. So back to you, Michael.
Thanks, Tom. Always efficient with your update. I have a question about, is there gonna be costs associated with this to counties? Ongoing, one time?
There is no county purchase. I will certainly punt to Holly for any details, but there's no county purchase.
And that matches up with our expectations in the past. Okay, so it's that following the same path. So for Fresno's purposes, who are on a different solution, what's the plan for that?
So Fresno, as I said, we have been working really diligently to maintain the look and feel, because the look and feel is good. I mean, that was a fantastic part of the pilot, right, that came out with Fresno, was that interaction with the agent. So we did actually meet with Fresno to kind of talk this through, but the intention is they will not need to go through many of the readiness items. We will work with them if there's any, minor changes that they need to adjust on, any updates they need to get to their agents. But the intention here, if the pilot goes as expected, is we will effectively slide the technology in under the hood, but their look and feel will look.
Comments, questions from our board members, state partners on this?
Michael, just real quick, and thank you for the update, and really excited for this. Excited, appreciate Fresno going through the pilot and going through some lessons learned, and really, getting their feet wet and diving in and really understanding how this can support our call center agents, and more importantly, how can this support our community? Because this touches so many different areas. If we're able to make it more efficient for our staff, frees up additional time that we can invest in our customers. My comment is just that when we're looking at these kind of solutions, whether they're call center related, whether it's Benefits Cal, CalSaw, self-service, whatever it is, I think one of the first questions that we really need to be asking is, the platform that we're using, can it scale to 58? And so we're not finding ourselves in a position of where we need to, go back and kind of reevaluate things and go to a different platform. Just appreciate, that I'm sure that the project and the team are doing a look back and seeing, what could we have done to really ensure that we don't need to level set and go a different direction. But again, just really ensuring that whatever it is that we are doing, that it can scale to the 58. Appreciate it. Thank you.
If I can on that, I agree, James. I think for us now, in terms of how we evaluate, things from the onset, that's a core pillar of it, right? Is scalability. The second part, though, is even that being the case, this technology didn't exist when we started this journey, right? So, Fresno, I said they got the beeper version, and you guys are getting the,
Yes.
the latest and greatest iPhone, version. And so now we're catching up, and now this is available. So yes, absolutely. But we also want to make sure we kind of keep an eye towards the latest and greatest. And so it was just a timing thing on some of that, but absolutely, we agree 100%.
Thanks, Julia. Appreciate it.
Any other comments, questions, board members, state partners? Deborah? Oh. Do you want to go ahead and verbalize it, or we can read it out?
Actually, I think Julia responded to me, but it's basically Madera's a middle-sized county. We do not have a call center. We have thought about it previously. I really like this technology. I really love anything that will make us more accurate given our environment. And so I wanted to know if there were middle and smaller counties that have call centers, what their experience has been, because obviously step one would be looking into that and getting information on that before even considering this, but I'm very interested in learning more. So I do appreciate, Julia, that you immediately responded to my chat comment. Thank you.
Yeah, and I also want to say, because we've heard this from even our RMs, what we also need to consider is for the small and the medium-sized counties who aren't on, the current solution, we're looking at if there's an opportunity for a cost share type of structure for that, so that many counties can go in on it. And so, because we know right now it's cost prohibitive for, you know, counties like your size, Deborah, to just go on this journey on your own. So.
All right, great.
If I could just,
Mike, Mike, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Was that Trent?
It was.
Okay.
I'm driving. Sorry, I can't see the screen.
All right, we're gonna grab quick, and then we'll come right back to you.
Yeah, this is Greg Placer. If I could just add, you know, I love working with Dawn and your teams on these very practical and innovative projects. We first had the return mail, and now this. It adds a lot of value to the overall CalSAWS product when it's able to really come up with solutions to little problems that a lot of us have tried to work out over the years, and it's something that can really improve the everyday life of our staff as well as our customers. So.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for you guys really putting in resources on this. Out to Trent.
Thanks, Mike. Sorry, and I apologize if this was on a slide. So we're interested. What is the process to engage and get this going for our county? And is there a timeline expected? Are we looking at a few months, 6 months, 12 months?
Yeah, so Jen, I heard you driving, so you weren't able to take a look at the slide, but it's our intention to make sure that we slate in every county who's on the contact center today by the end of this calendar year. And we are currently working and we'll be talking to each of those counties to figure out if our proposed time frame works for them and to kind of get that moved around appropriately. But yeah, our target, when you get a chance to look at the slides, you'll see we're doing 4 implementation groups between July and the end of the year, and in the expectation that everybody who's on contact center is going to want it. You certainly could opt out, but we expect everyone's.
Okay, great. Thanks for the information.
Yeah, and Trent, just to double click on what Don is saying, we have a preliminary schedule in terms of what counties go in what ways, but we also understand that the counties have other things going on within their counties. So if it doesn't fit, you know, we want to be transparent about that schedule. So if you all say, you know what, wave 1 is not good for us, we need it in wave 4, or vice versa, can we, you know, move it up? You might be going through labor negotiation. You could be going through anything within your county and pairs, right? So we want to make sure we're sensitive to that. And so it will be more of a dialogue with the counties in terms of what the right timing is for that.
Got it. Thanks.
Any other questions or comments from our board member state partners?
Hi, Michael. Yeah, this is Marla. So I've heard a couple times, really looking forward to this. I'm glad it's moving forward. I've heard, you know, that there is a draft schedule out there. Has the schedule been shared with counties? And if not, when will we see the schedule? And how can we see the schedule?
So for you individually, Marla, as I stated, you were one of the 3 with the ticket. You are in group 1. Coordinating with Julia, and we have that schedule drafted out. We will figure out the best way to communicate that and get that out as quickly as possible, because I can hear everybody wants to see the draft and start moving against it. I'm happy to get that out there quickly.
Yeah,
and
really.
Again, I do caution the pilot does have to finish for the schedule to become concrete.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I appreciate that, Dawn. And yeah, I think we are all anxious to get on it. And the other piece is it is 2026. This is, I think, a very aggressive rollout for a new technology, which I welcome. I think it's good. And I think that's a little of the anxiety coming from me anyways is, you know, I just need to see a schedule so we can start getting going on our side.
Yeah.
Yep. And your team actually is moving, Marla.
I was going to say, Marla, we met with your team just a couple of days ago, just to kind of go through the schedule and the readiness activities.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from our board member state partners? Hey, any public comment? All right. Next one.
That would be me.
Somebody has.
All right. Apologies.
It was us. All right, go ahead, Holly.
All right, I'll make this quick. With QA, we are just well underway. We are within the evaluation phase. We had received 6 proposals back in October, and so we are on track to the schedule that is depicted on the slide here. Some newer information is I wanted to share with you on the next slide. We have been working with San Bernardino County Council on a procurement of our legal services. And I'm happy to report we are on track against the schedule that is shared here. So we will release an RFP tomorrow. Our schedule does assume we'll be evaluating 3 proposals, so we'll keep an eye on that. Subsequent steps that would take us to next February to close this next procurement out. This would align to the current agreement, which will term in August, plus a 6-month extension that we'll bring back to the board at a later time. And that would then get us to February 2027. So with that, I'll turn it to Michael for their questions, comments.
Okay. Any questions, comments on that presentation? Board members, stay focused. Okay. Move to this timeline. Any public comment? You got it, Dave? Okay, then we'll go ahead and move on to our last item. Oh, I didn't do public comment, did I?
Yeah, yeah.
I did. Yeah. Yeah, we have it. Yeah, and any chats we save them all, so those are public comments that have been made, and they'll be preserved and captured. Thank you very much for making that. So speaking of the conference that we talked about earlier,
Me? Oh, I'm going.
It
Oh,
says
okay,
Julia
yeah.
on my sheet.
Okay, oh no, so we are really excited to present the 2026 CalSAWS conference that will be in San Francisco this year. This is just to kind of go back to the conversation before. This one has already been paid for. This is not a part of the administrative budget that we presented earlier. That's 26, 27. But we are really looking forward to that. We will be putting out more information and as soon as possible for people to start getting registered. Registration opens March 2nd. But as Jen mentioned for us, we want to make sure you get registered, get your hotel rooms because we do have a block. And then as Albert noted, Go Team USA, the cost, just to make sure you don't get caught in that, the crosshairs of those hikes. We want to make sure you book early. So with that, I think is there a video? There's a video. Oh, okay.
Welcome to Club CalSAWS, a modern collaborative space where counties, state partners, advocates, and project teams come together to align, adapt, and innovate, much like a jazz ensemble playing in sync. Our conference theme reflects the reality of our current moment, significant change driven by HR1, Medi-Cal updates, operational modernization, and emerging technologies like Gen AI, all requiring coordination, flexibility, and shared momentum. Where innovation finds its rhythm emphasizes that progress happens when people, systems, and ideas move together with intention. The jazz inspiration provides an elegant backdrop. We want to reinforce efficiency, collaboration, continuous improvement, and creativity without distracting from the serious work of service delivery. We are leveraging the sophistication of Fairmont while creating engaging, human-centered moments through music-inspired metaphors. The focus is not on governance mechanics, but on collective problem-solving, innovation in practice, and readiness for what's next across counties using CalSAWS. So come join us at Club CalSAWS in San Francisco, June 25th through 26th, 2026, where innovation finds its rhythm.
And just to also emphasize, I skipped that last part, and we will be reaching out to the counties on panel members. That was really successful last year to have your voice and your lens on our panel topics. So look out for that recruitment.
And the CalSAWS conference has always been a great conference. There's always new things that counties get to see. I always find it a very great opportunity for our leadership to get together too. It's in a great city, it's at a great location, but we did mention those challenges earlier. So I would encourage that the project solicit from the counties if they could, give us some estimates on what they think they'll be able to commit in terms of staffing to this. Because we don't want to hold a conference with nobody there. And I already know LA's numbers will be way down, just because we have no choice. CEO imposed cost freeze. It's going to only allow us to cover that project. So that's very limiting for us. Others may find themselves in the same position. I'd want us to revisit that, make sure that we make the right decision going forward. Okay. Any other members' comments, board members or state partners on the last presentation? Any public comment? Okay, then that concludes the informational items. We're going to have a closed session, and then we'll reconvene to close out our public session. Thank you very much.
Oh, I was charging.
Hey everybody, we'll resume the open session in just a moment. We're getting everybody back into the room here.
Are you trying to get your
Okay, can everybody still hear me? Anybody got thumbs up in there? All right, you saw thumbs up.
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
we can hear you, Mike.
Most all of us made it back over here, so I think we're going to be good to go ahead and reconvene the open session. Report out from closed session, no reportable actions taken. That moves us on to the last item, and that's our next JPA meeting. It will be on February 20th. It will be piggybacking off of CWGA, so it'll be a 1 o'clock start and back to a 2-hour meeting, 3 o'clock conclusion, and it will be at the Library Galleria. So make sure that you don't come to the project site. All right. With that, I really appreciate everybody's dedication today to this special meeting, and I'm sorry we're slightly over. The meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Hi, everybody.